How's it going? I'm Will from Spark R&D, and we're here at ISPO showing our product line of bindings and accessories. One new thing for this year is our Summit skins. We're working with a new factory on the plush material, which offers similar grip to what we've had in the past with our previous skins, but with improved glide, so allows you to travel a bit more efficiently out there. And our new skins as well offer these new tip and tail clip system. They essentially started with our old tail clips with the two hooks, but then we added a third one on the outside there. And basically what that does is allows our skins to fit a bigger variety of shapes where, generally with like a more pointy kind of shape, you'd be grabbing with these two hooks. And then as boards get wider and so on, it grabs more with the outside one. So the thought there is just that the skins will fit any tip shape from pointy to really broad and square. On the tail end of things, it gets even more interesting as a designer trying to fit all these different shapes from pintails to swallowtails and everything in between. So reworked the tail clips to whereas before we had kind of hooks and holes in the stretchers that fit together. Now we're going with a friction fit where the stretcher weaves through the tail clip, and then we also made the slots in the clip a lot wider, so this allows the clip to hang kind of in any angle and position that makes sense for the tail shape. Again, whether it's a swallowtail, real square, real pointy. So the clip can hang however it wants, and then the stretcher can still weave through and pull the skin straight while it's there. So a lot of kind of more swallowtail shapes. This is a new swallowtail that Burton will have out next year called the Pow Wrench. And often people that buy boards like these have to kind of hit the workbench and figure out how to rig things up. But with our system, you can just grab the clips, readjust them, and you're ready to go. All right. Also new for next year, we have our Fixie clips, both in a version for boards with inserts in them or boards that have holes drilled through them, like many are. With these, we're kind of in contrast to our crossbar clips, just going for a design on what's sort of the simplest thing we can do. With that, so the Fixie clips don't have any moving parts. You just put your board together and you go. So it's nice on transitions because there's nothing to flip or turn or do anything like that. You just separate it or put it back together. With these, we have individual points for all the fasteners. So if the dimensions on the board vary a little bit on that hole spacing, things will still bolt right up. And then as well, on the left side of the clip, there's quite a bit of adjustment built in both ways, so you can essentially adjust how tight the board does clamp together when you put it together.
How do you develop all your products? And how do you get feedback and all?
Sure. We'll get a lot of input on our existing product line on what issues people are having, or I'd like it like this, but maybe with this kind of change. And I'll usually have quite a bit of time to think about that while I'm doing other work, and start just kind of dreaming up how I might want to design it. And then generally in terms of workflow, I'll jump into CAD software and start working on designs that way. And then we have a nice 3D printer there. Usually go through a number of 3D prints with something and can usually work out a lot of details that way. And then as soon as it makes sense, then we'll hop over to our machine shop and start making actual rideable prototypes and get those out on snow as soon as possible, because you always learn stuff when you get it out into the real environment that you can't tell from either the screen or just your office or something like that. As time goes on, trying to get those products out to all these different environments, it just really makes a big difference. There's all different kinds of snow, and humidity and all that stuff.
Sure.
It can really, sometimes this thing works great in one location and another one it's not gonna work. So we really try to spread it out all over the place and see what happens.
Good. And when I think about your main product, with what everything started, the binding, for which kind of riders is it? Is it for everybody, or do you have some special range which can be defined somehow?
Moving into our Tesla system bindings, we have the Arc and the Surge, kind of separate a bit from each other. So the Arc is the softer one, kind of better for more nimble riding. The Surge is the stiffer one for more powerful riding and larger riders. And then beyond that, those also split into the Arc and Surge Pro, which people that are looking for, to save some weight, some more premium materials, and so on. So spreads out that way. And then, also moving into the hard boot binding as well, the dyno. So, it really is starting to spread out pretty wide over time.
Yeah, and if I think about different bindings, we have several bindings on the market. Why should I purchase a Spark?
Sure. I think the ease of use, going from, you need to go from split mode into ride mode, you need that to work well and be easy, and our bindings, are certainly top shelf when it comes to that. I think just the quality in every single piece of the binding and the price you're paying for it just can't be matched by anybody else that's out there. And again, it's the most usable binding, and they ride and tour great.
Yeah, and if we think about all this sustainability discussion,
sure.
I mean, somehow it's not so sustainable, but on the other way, I know that you are trying best to make it most sustainable as possible. So if you should rank it in a ranking from 1, which is absolutely not sustainable, up to 10, where would you rank it and why?
Sure. I mean, right now we're somewhere in the low to middle, because we've, there's so much more we can do on that front. Maybe I'm being a little pessimistic, but there's a lot.
That's what I thought.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot we want to do. So as it stands right now, we have, the majority of our roof is covered with our solar panels. And so right now we're offsetting about 25% of our power use, with solar that's produced on site, which is great. And as time goes on, we'll be able to increase that. So that is, that's a big chunk of what we want to do moving forward. In terms of additional things that are just kind of automatic with the company, like, our factory is in Bozeman. It's where, we're all in one building, and that's where, everything down to the screws on Pro bindings are made. We mold all the straps there, we mold all the high backs there. So just the product itself, there's less like shipping involved than there is with other products where things are coming from more places to come together.
Yeah, and if I'm new to splitboarding and I think about, I have to spend like around 500 euros for a binding.
Sure.
So what can I expect from this binding? Do I have to get a new one after 1 year, after 2 years? Does it last like 5 years? How is it?
Yeah, and I mean, we've been told we have a really bad business plan because these bindings last way too long, So, we're, again, I guess that would be another side of the, kind of a great goal to have with the product, is that they last, This is a durable binding that you can rock for a number of seasons, and then we also, anything that there is issues with, we back it up with warranty and spare parts and all that good stuff. So, that's another, again, kind of like sustainable green design sort of thing, is like, don't make something that is totally disposable.
That's good. So, and if I think about your service, you said you have guarantee and all that stuff. What is best if I'm a customer and something happens to my binding?
Sure, yep. So on our website, we have a warranty form right there that you can fill out, and everything's very streamlined, and you upload pictures and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, but I'm sitting in Europe and you're sitting in the US. How do you handle it?
Sure,
I have a binding which is broken and I'm losing my fresh powder.
You're on a trip. Well, that's why we have warranty centers around the globe at our different shops. Some of our our larger shops that have like all the product, they all have spare parts in stock and so on. So that's how we deal with the distance. Sometimes we end up working with people directly in the US to figure out like what is the actual issue that's going on, and then a lot of times then we can tell our friend at our warranty center, hey, they need this part shipped to this person and so on. So it might be a mix of who's taking care of it.
Yeah. So every part of your binding is available separately, that we don't have to change the whole binding, but parts of it. There's kind of sustainability as well.
Yeah, that I don't have to ship it air freight over the ocean, so on. So.
And what's best where it's best to buy your bindings? Is it via the online shop because your margin is higher, or is it via the shops because the service is better? How would you describe that?
Yeah, I mean the vast majority of our business is done through our retailers.
Okay.
And that's good for everybody, I think especially if you're a new splitboarder, you're gonna need a lot of advice. There's just a lot to know. Yeah. And so working with a retailer is, a great way to go because they can, be on the binding side of things. You probably need a board too, right? And so just getting your whole kit together and all that stuff, the retailers are great because they have all that stuff under their roof and can get you sorted out with that. So.
Yeah, I'm finished with my question.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Very good. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.